All right, take two. I've never recorded one of these before, but I wanted to record a live tarot reading for the start of Pisces season, which is today, February 19th, 18th? Like, what day is it? February's been like a total blur, for me at least. It's a shorter month, so it makes sense why it's gonna feel like it goes faster, but I feel like it really has like flown by. The start of Pisces season, when the sun is in Pisces, is important because it's the last sun sign of the cycle. So essentially when we go into Aries season next month, it's like the new year. The cycle restarts. The zodiac wheel starts with Aries and ends with Pisces. So it makes sense that Pisces is the sign most associated with this kind of ending, this kind of subconscious connection. Pretty much because as where Pisces stands in the zodiac wheel, Pisces has seen everything that the other 11 signs have seen. It's the last one, it's the deepest sign, so you can imagine in the next month that you're gonna feel a culmination, you're gonna feel a lot of closure, you're also going to get an inkling of what you can expect the next zodiac year to feel like for you, starting with Aries season. So this is a great time to reflect on what the last year has brought you, reflect on what your thoughts are, where your thoughts are, kind of like where you're at, what have you been thinking about, what's been on your subconscious, what have you been desiring, what have you learned, what have you been feeling, so you can take it on with you to the new zodiac season. So yeah, let's shuffle. So the tarot works really well with astrology. This deck that I'm using, actually, the minor arcana cards each have a zodiac placement on them, so it's always interesting to see how the cards you pull align with the current astrological landscape. So Pisces is a water sign, so if you're a Cancer, if you're a sun in Cancer, if you're a sun in Scorpio, or a sun in Pisces, you're a water sign. So what that means is you're more susceptible to your emotions, you're very feeling. Being emotional as you would consider it, or how a lot of people would consider it, crying all the time, acting irrationally, letting your emotions get the best of you. I don't look at emotional like that at all. I think emotional just means you're really in tune with your emotional center. So when the sun is in a water sign, everybody feels that. So you could be the most rational, level-headed person. You can be more of an air person, more into intellect. A fire sign, which is more into action. But either way, when the sun is in a water sign, especially Pisces, the last water sign, everybody's going to be feeling that pull to their emotional core, which everybody can access, and it's really important that you do access it because that's going to show you what you really feel and what you really want. So the first card we're pulling is the Ten of Wands. This card has been super prevalent for me. It's kind of a scary card. The tarot is kind of true to life. There's really no good or bad. Good and bad exist. In the journey of the four suits of the tarot, there's a journey within all of them. But anytime you pull a 10, that's going to be an ending. So the Wands especially is the suit associated with fire energy. So basically how I'm seeing that is, as far as your actions are concerned, you've either hit a wall or you've had enough. We're talking about things that you do, so maybe something that you're doing physically isn't serving you anymore, or actually is hurting you. So maybe it's your workout routine is stagnant, maybe you're doing too much, maybe your physical work is not working to your benefit, maybe there's like a rest that you need to be taking, but basically too much exertion, like I said earlier, too much of one thing is always going to cause an imbalance. So you have to access the softer side of yourself. So if I see the 10 of Wands, I'm seeing that you're doing too much and it's going to work against you. You have to have periods of action and non-action, which is interesting to pull because this card is Neptune in Sagittarius, which that's not really important actually, but yeah, basically if you're in a period of too much action, you need to slow down, and Pisces season is a really good time to slow down and just feel and let yourself decompress after a really busy year before we go into another fire sign. This is the Knight of Wands. So where we see the court cards, which is the prince, the princess, the queen, and the knight, this is going to represent an actual physical energy in our life. So when I pull the Knight of Wands, that is going to be the true epitome of fire in the tarot, which I think the last intuition exercise I posted had this card in it. So what I'm seeing here is a figure that you might be being influenced by when it comes to action or assertion. Maybe this is a person, usually male, but not all the time. It could just be an energy, like a spirit, like this fighter spirit, this I have to do everything spirit, this act without looking back spirit that everybody can get into from time to time, of just not really stopping to think about what you're doing, but just kind of doing it for the sake of doing it. Again, it goes along with the last card we pulled. Too much is too much. You have to access your softer side. So maybe right now we're all feeling this potential, this surge in potential and these ideas that make us want to just go. But, you know, it's really important to, even if you're feeling really good and you're feeling like you want to move, like you want to just go forth with everything that you have ideas about, you have to meet the fire with the water. You have to find the balance. So I'm seeing just from these two cards alone that collectively, which I hope you guys let me know if you feel this way, we're all feeling really good. We're feeling really powerful. We're feeling like, you know, we can take on the stuff that we've been meaning to take on finally, which feels really good. But just don't forget this side of you that has felt less encouraged in the past, that's felt a little bit more lost, and still be there for that person as you move forward. Because this is the Tower. I love the Tower. When you think about the tarot, I think a lot of people are always scared of like seeing the, you know, the devil card or death. But I always say the Tower is the scariest card in the tarot, because the Tower is just the complete collapse of everything that you thought that you had standing. But it's powerful. The next card, this is my favorite two cards in the tarot, is the Tower to the Star. The Tower, this total like earthquake, collapse of like everything that you thought you knew. You lose everything in a way. And then the next card is the Star, which is this dark night of complete loneliness and isolation, but then there's this bright star that's like, this is what I needed you to see almost. This is the potential. This is the next move. So far in this reading, this is crazy. I'm feeling like we're all gonna hit a wall. Like we're all gonna hit a wall and something's gonna give, and it's gonna happen either way. So my advice is to just prepare yourself for a breakdown in a way. Like the best way to become comfortable is to become comfortable with your deepest, darkest fears and really sit with them and realize, you know, kind of ask why they scare you, because if you really sit with that, not in a depressing way, but if you really become comfortable with your deepest, darkest fears, they're not going to scare you anymore, and you can use them to your advantage. Which brings us to the Three of Swords, is a card of intellect. This one is actually called Sorrow. Don't think too much about where your circumstances are. Do you ever like make yourself feel worse than you actually feel because you think too much about it? You're like, you know, you get into that victim mindset of like, oh, this is happening to me, this is so tough. We're almost conditioned to feel that way sometimes. You know, when things start to go wrong, you know, we think, okay, well, this is just my time to sulk and like, you know, bask in this unhappiness, this misfortune that I've found. But in reality, we kind of choose to feel that way. So maybe don't attach too much with your circumstances right now. Don't invest too much of your intellect into where you are right now. Don't think about it too much, because things are going to change either way. You don't want to get hurt just because of, you know, what you're feeling. You know, you don't want to have your feelings hurt. Just be kind of fluid. Pisces is all about acting fluid. The Princess of Discs is an interesting card to pull in succession with that, because that kind of shows to me that underneath this like collapse and these like feelings of, you know, just like being upset of where you are, beneath all that is this lovely earth energy that's going to bring you something brand new. It's very youthful, very feminine, a lot of creation, a lot of receptive action rather than action, more non-action, which we kind of talked about in the beginning, about the season of cups, the season of water, which is Pisces season. And the discs bring material gain. So again, the more you lose, the more you have to gain. And if you lose something, it's for a reason. And there's something bigger coming to take its place. That's that tower to the star. You have to lose something to gain something. You can't just hoard, you know, no matter what it is. Whatever you want, if you want something really bad, I suggest giving something away of the same status to you. And that'll just expedite what you're manifesting. The Two of Discs is the same kind of feeling. It's the change up. It's the exchange. It's the duality. It's all in one. So whatever you give away is what you receive. Whatever you lack is what you gain in a way. But it's all balance. It's the yin and yang. This will be the last card, which is the Hanged Man. Basically how I'm seeing at the end of all of this is we're going from this Ten of Wands energy, this back against the wall, I've done too much, I've acted too much, my energy's too high, to the Hanged Man, which is literally a man hanging. You can't really do much there. You just have to kind of reflect on what you're looking at. And he's not hanging like he's killed. He's hanging like a kid like upside down on a jungle gym. When you like see the world upside down, you're like, well, you know, this is pretty cool. I should come upside down more. That's kind of like the Hanged Man energy. Giving you a new perspective. It's not like you're down and out. You just need to see the new perspective. So my prediction is practice non-attachment throughout this Pisces season. Really don't attach yourself to any circumstances, because I think things are going to change a lot. But keep your eyes on the prize. Whatever your prize is, reflect. Like right now is a great time to journal and really, really, really reflect on what you want for anything. Like be really specific. That way when, you know, when the tower stuff starts happening, you can remind yourself, what your real goal is, so that you're not going to be so bent out of shape when some little things don't go your way, so you don't find yourself in a victim mindset, upset about things that don't even really matter to you in the first place. We didn't pull any water cards for this reading, which I think is pretty reflective of this season. Even though we're about to be in Pisces season, there's a lot of earth energy right now. Venus in Capricorn, Mercury is in Pisces, but it's about to go retrograde, so things aren't as they seem, almost. So, you know, do with it what you will. If you want a reading, a personalized reading, message me, and I'll let you know how to set one up. Peace.